Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And we all know Germans are weird. Not generally, but, well, actually, no, generally. They are a bit weird. They keep voting for weird people. They keep doing weird things. Make good cars, though. But they do have a very weird outlook when it comes to gentlemen's special interest magazines and videos. You know exactly what I mean. Well, I was going to call it something there that was very nearly came out of my mouth, and the YouTube algorithm would have slammed me for it. Let's just say that the Socialist Youth wing of the Socialist Party in Germany, you remember they had a very, very popular club, socialist club for youths about 80 years ago, the Hilter Youth or something like that. Well, they're now calling for, the special interest magazines and videos to be freely available but shown on national television, free for public consumption. Men and women getting it on, baby. But that's Germans for you. They have quite an open attitude. I've lived there for several years, and they do have a very, very different attitude to things like this than, say, most normal people. But let's have a look at the article and see what the hell these morons are thinking. Okay, now before we start, you obviously with the YouTube algorithm, I'll have to say other terms rather than that word. So public P, we'll call it P, okay? So public P, German Socialist Youth demands public broadcasters show P. Yes, remember I've just explained what these bunch are. These young socialists, this group of socialist people. Now, 80 years ago, in the 30s, they had a special, 90 years ago, really, isn't it? 90 years ago, they had a particular grievance, shall we say. Anyway, today, them calling themselves a new name. They don't want to be called the Hit Them Youth or anything like that. So they call themselves a new name today to totally get away from any kind of smear or historical connection to sort of left-wing youth groups. So they're calling themselves the Jusos. Yeah. You wonder how far Germany's come in the last 90 years. Anyway, the youth wing, and let me say before I go on this really isn't about P. This is all ultimately about socialism and how it eats itself and how it hasn't actually got a clue. So, it's a bit of a misnomer leading you in. I've hooked you in, but we'll follow this and follow my argument. So the youth wing of the ruling German Social Democrats in Berlin has called on public broadcasters to show P in their media catalogues, arguing broadcasters should carry anti-arist and feminist P films. Now, I don't know how you define these. How do you define an anti-R P film? Is it one that's, it's exclusively black or exclusively Asian? Or is it black and Asian, black and white, Asian and white? But presumably it's going to be something like that, which therefore means that if it's an all-white performance, shall we say, that would be against their rules. And so they would not want that one shown. And that's a problem, isn't it? Because they're actually going to be saying, we want non-RS, P, but we don't want all-white P, because that would be wrong. That kind of hypocrisy, really, isn't it? And then what the hell is a feminist P film? Seriously? Girls on top? Well, no, I'm happy with that. But anyway, the SDB youth wing, known as the Young Socialists or Jusos, the Hit Them Youth, argues that German public broadcasters such as ARD, Snigger, and ZDF should buy the rights to P films that fit with leftist sensibilities and show feminist and anti-R messaging, claiming that normal mainstream P often fulfills, you can read the words, Sist and Rist stereotypes. Well, of course it does. People do not watch these films for social commentary. They watch them, usually for short periods of time, to actually see a physical act. They don't care that the girl's washing machine is broken. They don't care that, that guy is late for a business meeting but he's going to give it up just to satisfy his hard-working wife, or whatever the storyline is. No, they want to go bang, straight in. They want to see some action. They want the money shot, and they're done. That's it. Bloody socialists. The trouble with socialists is they hate the idea of anyone sitting there somewhere having a good time. It appalls them. They absolutely cannot stand people having a good time. So what they want is, worthy pee with a meaning, so that you can watch it, knock one out, and come away not just feeling much more relaxed and slightly happier, but also spiritually fulfilled, because you've had the message, the agenda pushed into you. And that's not often what you see pushed in these type of films. But, the internet's there. Rule 34, whatever you can imagine, it's available. And 9 times out of 10, it's available for free. Jesus, have these guys never heard of P-Hub? It's a great place to sample all sorts of flavours of this kind of film. I've been reliably informed. Anyway, the Jusos also criticise the fact that the mainstream P is directed at men, and that, as a result, the perspective of women relating to P is neglected. Oh, bless. That's right, because no women have ever made P films, and never have you ever seen men being or paddled by a woman in one of these. Anyway, since free P is consumed primarily on the internet, feminist P must also be available free of charge. I'll let you know it is. If you can give me a definition of what feminist P is, I can guarantee it's out there free of charge. I mean, seriously, if you can imagine it, that's Rule 34, by the way. If you can imagine it, P of it exists on the internet. The bizarre proposal comes just months after teachers at a union conference in the United Kingdom argued that its members should be allowed to teach children about P, stating lessons would allow the children to understand and cope with P when they encountered it. Please, there's a time and a place for this. Watching this sort of thing in a school is not it. If nothing else, it would embarrass the boys. The majority of P projects a distorted view of S and S relationships. Yes, it does, I'll grant you that. Which is why it's banned for children, not to be encouraged to be brought into schools for children. Anyway, it should be a matter of concern that mainstream sites regularly feature acts against women and girls. It certainly does not. Completely illegal, and it doesn't. Mainstream, I'm going to tell you now, mainstream, no, it doesn't. Yes, it's not saying it doesn't exist, but not on the like. They've actually become respectable now. They earn big money, and the trouble is, if they do anything like that, they lose their rights to take cash or money by credit card. The credit card companies jump on them, so they don't do it. So actually, this is all a load of old crap. Anyway, meanwhile, on the opposite side of the issue, the Hungarian government recently moved to ban and prohibit the teaching of LGBT and gender content in schools. Correct, because it's down to the parents to teach this. Justice Minister Judith Varga telling Breitbart London in May, "We said enough, since we believe there can be no education without the consent of parents," and they are right. But the problem here we have with the Germans, the German socialists, is they're saying, no, you can only have this sort of P and this sort of P. You can't have that sort of P. Now, at that point, you're creating a partisan division. But you're not saying, but women who like that sort of P aren't allowed to watch it. So you're actually saying you women can't access the thing you like because we don't like it. How's that fair? You're actually saying to women they can't have what they want because the men in that group don't want it. And let's face it, those men, they're all incels, aren't they? They're not the sort that are going to find themselves attractive to normal women. They're all little fusspots, socialists caring more about the shadow of fungus rather than real life. They're sad, and predominantly going to be men, aren't they? Let's be honest. But they are very sad. Socialists are sad. They're miserable. They got no joy in their world, which is why they become socialists and try to spread the misery. Anyway, I shall come up. How sad it is to be a socialist when all you've got to look forward to is free socialist P. It's not even good P, is it? At the end of the day, whatever floats your boat, or in their case, whatever floats your U-boat. Still, I hope it doesn't sink on them, because there's nothing worse than a German going down. Anyway, I shall leave it there. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notification of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, stay away from German Scheisse, and goodbye.